Hello, and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. A lot of big things happen on this show tonight. A lot going on tonight. Some very important news and whatnot. Before I do get in this review of Impact Wrestling, though, I do want to say I did see Final Resolution on Saturday. Yes, I don't have a review and whatnot, but then again, it was like 3 different shows going on. So I just want to give my little quick thoughts of Final Resolution. Listen, it was a good show. I was up and down on it. I did like the main event between Chris Bay and Rich Swann. I did kind of thought it was funny that Chris Bay was on New Japan, basically like minutes having his match, then minutes after he's in the main event at Impact. So apparently he may be able to teleport. I don't know, but like between that, I thought Carl Anderson and Ethan Page had a good match. I did like Rosemary and Purrazzo, and I'm trying to see what else I did like from it. This whole Cody Deaner turning thing and whatnot. Like I said, it wasn't a bad show. I thought like there are parts that were good, but when it comes to like a lot of comedy parts, though, like with the whole wad of cash thing, which I just think it's ridiculous at this point. This whole murder thing with Larry D and Tommy Dreamer. I don't know why I need to see that on there. I thought Havoc and Nevaeh had a okay match on there also against the Sea Stars. I don't know if I really still want to see Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan again, given what happened last time, which I didn't mind a few last time. It's just, do I really want to see this again? Like, I'm trying to see what other value does it still really hold to at this point. I thought, what was it? Who did Moose go against? No, I know Manik won the X Division title from Rohit, so that wasn't bad. Like I say, it wasn't a bad show. I was just up and down on it. I think it was just good and bad at the same time. There are times when Impact can go really good with these shows, but then again, like I said before, I see one too many comedy segments on here and whatnot. So I think that's my problem with it. Don't get me wrong, there's other shows that do comedy also on in wrestling and whatnot. Listen, I'm not going to come on here like, I was listening to some clips the other day. I think I said this, Conan and whatnot. I think they had, Jason Powell does this in AEW Shield, just kind of shitting all over Impact's stuff, even though AEW does bad comedy also. So, like I said, I'm trying to gotta keep the same energy and whatnot. But, like I said, I thought Final Resolution was an okay show. I just felt like it's just been way too much comedy on Impact lately, especially given in this time right now. I think you need to keep that stuff as less as possible and put on a good show. Now, it's tonight's show with Kenny Omega being back on here and whatnot. What was going to happen since Omega was back here tonight in the tour bus with Don Callis. But we do kick off the first match between Tennille Dashwood and Alicia Edwards. That's another feud I don't really care, or why am I seeing this at the same time. It wasn't a bad match or anything. It was okay. And whatnot. Tennille ended up getting the win over Alicia, so I thought it was an okay match. Eddie came out to help, Alicia help up his wife, but Sami Callihan showed up on the screen then and basically told Eddie, I could attack you from behind, but I'm done with that. And how about a match in the next few weeks, okay? So I want you to go home and enjoy the holidays with your family, because it may be your last. So, basically, in the next few weeks, we're going to get a match from them. Next, Sabin, Shelly, the Motor City Machine Guns. We're going back into their 3-step process of what they've been doing, about how they've beat, AC Romero and Larry D, Team Triple XL. And now they want to go after the North, but the North is beating themselves due to their own bickering. So the next step is to go after the Good Brothers for those tag team titles, since that they never pinned the Machine Guns for those belts. But then they went to Kenny Omega, which was on the bus with Carl Anderson and Don Callis, which that was on Saturday also with Omega. And, Carl Anderson, think of his Bullet Club coming back, as everybody's saying right now. Basically, they kind of hyped up Carl Anderson. You tell what they said about you? That's what's disrespectful. You got to go do something about it. Go get him, basically. So they end up sending Carl Anderson, I guess, to go after the Guns after what they said about him. Basically, then when he came into the room, he was looking for Machine Guns. Rich Swann basically told him to calm down. He said, so you just taking orders from Kenny Omega now? And Carl Anderson said, "That's my friend. You address him as champ." The Motor City Machine Gun showed up. Carl Anderson basically said he's going to meet Chris Sabin later in the ring, so we'll see where that goes. Next, Moose came out in a suit talking about how, Willie Mack supposed to be giving an injury update, and he may not be able to wrestle in the next few weeks because, he's just injured people. Like, he's injuring a lot of others right now, and, he doesn't like that people are always talking about Rich Swann and whatnot, and they're not respecting him and his title. And basically, Moose, says he's going to hurt Swann, and he's going to tell Mack, what real pain feels like then. But Willie Mack came out. Security guards had to hold him back. He said he just wanted to talk, and he says, you know what? He's not have to wrestle right now because he's on a shelf for the next few weeks, but he had a challenge for Moose, all right? Moose said, let him come on, but he's not going to make it. Mack says, how about an I Quit match at Genesis in January and whatnot. Mack tried to get in the ring and brawl with Moose then. Security held both guys back, but Moose ended up dropping Mack with a punch. And as they tried to get Mack out of there, I guess Mack ripped Moose's suit. Moose ended up hitting one of the security guards before walking away. Basically, he knows that they're independent wrestlers, which they never really say that on TV, that independent wrestlers are security guards in a lot of these pull-apart segments and whatnot. I've never really seen that addressed till now. I don't think anybody's ever addressed that. And, he knows that these independent guys are trying to be stars and whatnot, but you ripped his suit, and basically, they couldn't hang 3 minutes in the ring with him, and he told Mack he's going to get hurt. Next, though, like I said, great segment, though. I enjoyed it with Moose and Mack, so looking forward to that. Chris Bay was in the back talking to Rohit, since, Rohit lost his title and whatnot. Rohit basically said all he needs to do is unmask Manik. He'll prove his TJP, and he'll get the belt back. And he thought it was Chris Bay told him that idea. And, Rohit thought it was a good idea. And so how about you come out here with me tonight, all right? Let's see where that goes. Next, though, Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone were back with another paid advertisement of AEW. Basically, Tony Khan basically said, we're helping keep Impact alive with these ads right here. He's not going to file an injunction against Kenny Omega. He respects him, but he doesn't like the way he won his title. And, Omega, he's on Impact regularly now because it's free advertisement. And as they went down the card for, AEW show tomorrow night, basically talking about taking more shots at Impact, talking about they don't have, where there's Access TV and their low viewership. And, AEW's popping all these numbers and whatnot, and just going on about, remember, Christopher Daniels and, Frankie Kazarian, they used to be on Impact. They used to be real big names and whatnot. Where basically they're just kind of shitting on Impact mostly. I'm sure a lot of people said those same reasons too and whatnot. But, basically saying, we're the ones keeping this place running and whatnot, and, what happened to all that viewership, and what happened to, I remember they were TNA at one point, so consistently taking shots at them, because I'm sure a lot of people don't have Access TV. I don't know where this is leading into. I don't know what Tony Khan is trying to be, like a face or a heel. Like, he's mad at Kenny the way he won the belt, but he's taking shots at Impact at the same time, kind of semi-burying them too, so I don't know what Tony Khan, the guy he comes off as cringe when talking sometimes. And, I don't mind Tony Schiavone in it, but I don't know. It's like, I've said this last week. It's like, was Tony Khan trying to be like Vince McMahon now or something? Like, where is this going? I don't know where this is going. I honestly don't. Is he like a face or a heel? Like, he's not on his show doing it, but he's on Impact with these advertisements doing this. Why? I don't know where this is going. I honestly don't. I'm sure it's something to talk about and whatnot with Tony Khan, but very, very strange. Like I said, I have no idea where this is going, okay? These paid advertisements just constantly taking shots. So that's 2 weeks in a row now. I don't know if he's trying to be like Vince and that, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure a lot of people are going to call him Jacksonville Dixie, as Randy Orton would say, or I call him Boy Dixie because, Dixie Carter and whatnot. But Well, we'll see what Dixie Carter 2 is going to do with this, because a lot of people feel like this is kind of going into that same act than being more of events. So another paid advertisement by AEW this week on Impact. Next, Eric Young, which I think was one of the best segments of the night, talking about, I guess he was in a prison and everything, and he talked about, losing his mom to a sickness recently, and talked about having to take care of the sickness and what they need to do to be cured. And Cody Deaner is sitting across from him with handcuffs on, and saying that he's going to be baptized and changed. So we're going to get more of these segments tonight with Eric Young and Cody Deaner. Like I said, it's probably one of the best segments of the night, especially turning Cody Deaner to whatever Eric Young is trying to make him into, like some disciple or something. So we're going to get back into that in a second. Manic, though, when he gets Chris Bay, non-title match. Rohit was out there. A good match, I will say. It ended up with Rohit coming in attacking Manic, which, gave, I guess, Chris Bay the DQ. Chris Bay started to laugh then after that, because Rohit hit him, not Manic, I should say, for the DQ and whatnot. But this is what Chris Bay's plan was all along, to be clever. Basically, he finessed the win using Rohit. So very smart when you think about it, okay? Maybe split some line more for the X Division title. We'll see what happens, since the whole world title shot thing didn't go out well. So we'll see what happens there, but very clever way to trick Rohit. Ethan Page, though, was in the back talking to Josh Alexander, apologized for losing the fight on Resolution. And, Page took the full blame. And listen, we got to get back on the same page and whatnot. And listen, everything's going to be all right. And it says, we will take care of this. And Josh Alexander's like, who is we? Okay, what do you mean we? And Ethan went to go take care of it. Brian Myers came in. Listen, man, I'm a tag team specialist. I've been tag team champion for I won the tag team titles in front of 82,000 people and been a champion here. I could be your partner. But Josh Alexander says, listen, I'd rather kick your ass later, okay? Next, I know they played the flashback, Sting's TNA debut from Final Resolution 2006. Next, they did show Omega, Callis, and Carl Anderson sitting in the back. Then, Omega's calling Rich Swann a bitch, or Rich the bitch, and basically, it's gonna go. You gotta do it. You gotta take care of Sabin tonight. Carl Anderson was left in, but Omega said, he's still pissed off. And, it's not supposed to be about Rich Swann. He's going to take care of this, because it's going to be a long time coming. So, obviously, more and more they're teasing Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. We'll get to that in a second. Next, semifinals of the Knockouts Tag Tournament title match. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. Not a bad match. It did end up with Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly coming out beating up Rosemary. Taya would end up being distracted, which allowed Kiera to get the twisting, fisherman suplex, but twist backbreaker for the win, which I'm kind of glad, because that's kind of what the team who I do want to win anyways is Kiera and Tasha. I figured they were going to find something else for Taya and Rosemary and whatnot. Honestly, I feel like both of them have kind of been in a very odd slump nowadays. Just maybe I feel like I said before, been in too many comedy segments, especially Taya, ever since she lost the belt many months ago and whatnot. Some would say about Rosemary, though, that it's not even the same Rosemary. I've seen a lot of comments on that tonight. I've seen comments on that for a while now. I still think it's because it was whatever injury it was. Maybe it wasn't the Sexy Star one, and I could be wrong from that, but she had another injury. And then I remember, what was it, Homecoming 2019, I think. She looked really different, and some has said is very limited nowadays. But the match wasn't that bad. And I guess they're moving him and going against Deonna, because come on, Deonna does need to face some other people. Like I said, I thought Deonna and Rosemary still had a good match on the pay-per-view last Saturday. But Kiera and Tasha move on into the finals at Hard to Kill. Then they then went back to Cody Deaner. Eric Young, I guess, the prison and whatnot, that you talked about professional wrestling, it's lied to you, like wrestling is a disease, and you giving your all, but it's not giving anything back, and only you can do something about it, and that the parasite that has latched on to you, and Cody says he never saw it, and, they opened a jail cell, him and Joe Doring were there, so, like I said, more good stuff from these segments and whatnot from Eric Young. Tasha and Kira were talking about they were going to the finals, but they started talking about that wad of cash again, which Johnny Swinger came in with some beer, trying to party and whatnot, but they end up leaving, and I guess after Tasha checked her own bag, Swinger ended up checking Kira's bag, and then he found the money. Like I said, nobody in this company deposits the money or spends the money, but they've continued to carry this wad of cash around for over a month or two. I have no idea why. Brian Myers then went against Josh Alexander. Match is going okay until let's see here. The Karate Man showed up. Ethan Page's alter ego. I know they've been calling him that for a minute now, but I didn't think this was some real gimmick thing, which he ended up hitting a kick onto Myers. And Josh Alexander says, "What is this?" Ethan Page started to do this whole Karate Man thing. I don't know if this will work on that or where this is going. But let's see what happens. This does look kind of goofy, but let's see if Ethan Page can make this entertaining, because Ethan Page, he has made a lot of stuff entertaining lately. So we'll see what happens. Eric Young, though, is still interviewing Cody Deaner, talking about, you reiterated that, this is a disease, and now those people are laughing at you, not with you. And he baptized Cody to a water change, which, things going to be cleaner now. And he said that you are free, as Cody Deaner says, "I am free." And Eric Young went to go on to say that the world doesn't belong to them, it belongs to us. So I don't know what type of stable Eric Young is trying to build right here. I'm not saying it's sanity or whatnot, but it's very interesting to see where this is going to go, to whatever this stable or something he's built with Joe Doring and Cody Deaner. Basically, AC Romero, well, I know he talked to Tommy Dreamer, tried to get him out of jail, but Eric Young and Rhino didn't like what was going on with this whole Eric Young thing, and Dreamer says, "You guys need the team together before this gets much worse." So we'll see where this Eric Young stuff is going, but like I said, I've enjoyed these segments tonight. But in the main event, though, Carl Anderson did go against Chris Sabin. Very good match. Enjoyed it. I know they had Omega and Callis watching in the back, and ended up with Carl Anderson getting a roll up on Sabin with a handful of tights for the win. And as Omega said, the machine gun is back and everything. Yeah, this guy's been in the World Tag League, nearing the finals of the G1 and whatnot. But as Carl Anderson celebrated, Rich Swann kept saying, "What was that?" They went to the back then. Swann tried to stop him, but Carl Anderson ended up hitting him then. The Motor City Machine Guns end up jumping Carl Anderson until Luke Gallows came back, which we haven't seen him in a minute. So he came back, took out the guns. Swann ended up hitting a super kick onto Gallows then, but Kenny Omega came out of nowhere and hit Rich Swann with like the floor sign and told him that, even though you are the champ, you're just wrestlers living in my world, okay? And then Omega went on and says, I'm looking forward to it with my former Bullet Club teammates. So someone now saying, are the Bullet Club back, all right? Are they all back right now? Is Bullet Club an Impact when you think about it? Don Callis basically booked the match at Hard to Kill, which I think is the main event, which will be Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns versus Bullet Club, I should say, or Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. But I may just say Bullet Club for right now, okay? But like I said, very, very good main event. I did enjoy that match between Carl Anderson. I'm glad I gave him the machine gun sound effect. I missed that and whatnot. But like I said, good match in the main event and a good hook, especially for Hard to Kill for the next pay-per-view. And, Omega finally going to wrestle on this show in January, okay? So, yes, I guess we got to get Bullet Club versus Swann and the Guns. Looking forward to that. And whatnot. So, this could be really good. I still think it could be a one-on-one between Swann and Omega in the future. I wanted to see Swann versus Moose for the title of Hard to Kill. That's what I thought was going to happen, but apparently this has changed now. But this main event that they announced for Hard to Kill is fire, okay? So that is good. Overall, a very good episode of Impact. Like I said, one of the most enjoyable things on this show was either the Eric Young segments or the Kenny Omega segments, and now them announcing that match for Hard to Kill, okay? Now, I do want to say one thing. This is probably the last Impact review I will be doing of the year, because for the next 2 weeks, Impact, we're just going to have best of shows, and I'm not really going to waste my time kind of watching those or reviewing it. It's just going to be matches that were in the year, even though most of these have been in the same place due to the pandemic. So I'm not going to go. I don't even remember all the ones when they had crowds out there. And trust me, there's some good matches that they had throughout the year, but I'm not really going to watch these best of shows. I remember them doing this last year. It was cool that they asked the roster about their holidays and whatnot, but it's not like anything really important happened in those 2 weeks during that time, okay? So, I think there's a problem in all this. I know some say it's because of cost cutting and whatnot, but even some say Anthem does have money, so they should just they got money. Now, Anthem does have money. They should just keep continuing the show and whatnot. And to what I've heard is that the shows that they do have coming back when Genesis and they return, apparently those are still taped, okay? But I think this does kill the momentum right now with this whole AEW thing. Because, listen, Impact's been pretty hot for the past 2 weeks ever since they have done this whole partnership, apparently, and whatnot with AEW. And I think taking 2 weeks off is kind of going to hurt them. Now, unless Impact starts invading AEW for the next 2 weeks now, or they start showing up on their show, then they're going to have to keep that momentum one way or another, because listen, they won't really be back. Like I said, they won't be back till January, okay? So I thought they could at least came back with new content after that, but you probably won't see new content until Hard to Kill for that 6-man tag and whatever is announced for the pay-per-view. But like I said, this is probably the last Impact review I am going to be doing of the year, okay? Because it's a 2-week show. It's holiday best of shows. So I don't really need to, I don't think I really need to sit and review that, or like I said before, watch or even try to go over it. So, like I said, it kind of kills the momentum, but maybe Impact people will show up on AEW and try to keep that momentum going strong and whatnot. I feel that's probably the only other option. Unless there's a different option, please tell me out there, okay? So, other than that, though, follow me on Twitter, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Impact tonight, especially everything. There was a lot going on in the show tonight. A lot of matches, a lot of stuff being announced, pay-per-view matches being announced. So, a lot going on before they take this 2-week break, I should say. So, it's a lot to take from Impact tonight. But other than that, we will be back tomorrow night for an AEW and NXT review, okay? And you know, one thing before I go, I think I didn't say this earlier. I already talked about the viewership and everything with, AEW, they're popping their high. Did somebody try to say like today or two what I know Raw had a low rating and whatnot, but then what was it, Alvarez and Meltzer tried to go on like, for the highest demographics, they beat Raw in the demographics. Who gives a shit if they beat them in the you still didn't beat them in the ratings. It's the fucking demographic. I'm getting tired of that demographic shit. It's like the demographic. Who the fuck cares? Just win the rating. That's all you got to do, okay? It's dumb as that argument's dumb as hell. But I wanted to say that before I go. I just kind of remember it's just a really dumb argument. But other than that, though, like I said, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace out. Shout out to the Urban Wrestling Network. Cannot forget about talking about them before I go to check out my stuff and all their stuff online also, okay? Other than that, like I said, I'm starting to repeat myself. See you guys later. Peace out.